wanted to do a Halloween makeup that is still cute, playful, and fun because honestly, I'm a little bit tired of the scary.
That's not what we want to be. We do not want to be a sweaty ghost. We want to be a hot ghost, right?
So this is the final makeup. So it is Halloween season and I wanted to do a Halloween makeup that is still cute, playful, and fun because honestly, I'm a little bit tired of the scary and I just want it to be light and easy and breezy. So the easiest thing I could think of and the cutest thing I could think of is a baby deer. So I put that on my face, right? And I'm gonna show you how I did this kind of simple deer makeup so you too can be cute, fun, and playful on Halloween. Let's go.
Since this is a Halloween makeup, I want to make sure it is a full face finish, but I don't want it to be too heavy because I feel like it's Halloween. You're gonna be going out, you're gonna be having fun, or you're gonna be collecting all the treats in the world. So I'm using a skin tint instead of foundation because I want it to be light and I don't want it to be too heavy that I'm just gonna feel hot and sweaty. That's not what we want to be. We do not want to be a sweaty ghost. We want to be a hot ghost, right? So I am making sure that this skin tint is pressed deep into my skin and I am getting it everywhere. Base is important. Now from here, I'm taking my concealer. I'm just doing it under my eyes, a little bit on my smile lines and my forehead because I want to make sure the base, once again, is good. Once this base is set and it's good, then we can go on and play with our makeup to create this beautiful deer-like look that I am looking forward to doing. I am definitely going back and forth under my eye because I do not want it to crease. I want it to be blended. Now from here, I'm just gonna do my basic contour. I am sticking with creams right now because I know when it comes to doing the full makeup, it's gonna be a lot of powders and I do not want it to look cakey. I want it to look like skin, like a beautiful skin finish, and I'm making sure to get under my chin so that way we could have a nice sharp aligned jawline. Now this is where the magic happens. This is where we get the deer-esque aspect to it. We use bronzer and I'm using a lot of powder bronzer. I'm mainly going on my cheeks and on my forehead because when you look at deers, they have this kind of sharp angular look. Their chins aren't as dark, but really when you think of them, it's like their cheeks and their head, and you're gonna use a lot of bronzer. You're gonna go back into that bronzer palette maybe like 3 to 4 times just to get it nice and brown. And then to even enhance that contrast, I'm taking this white highlighter powder. I'm putting it right at the middle of my forehead and right along the top of my cheek into my under eye, because when you look at deers, they have this soft white fur in contrast to the brown fur, and that's kind of what we want to get here, but we also want to make sure we don't look sunburnt, and the white helps with that. I'm telling you, it helps so much. And if you feel like you look a little crazy, don't worry. I felt this way too when I first started this, but by the end, it is going to come out great, trust me. Now we are going to work on our eye makeup because if we save this for later, it might interfere with the full face makeup or not blend as well. We want to do our eyes in a way that kind of enhances the brown. So I'm going with a darker shade of brown so that way my eyes can pop a bit more. I'm making sure to kind of do it all over the lid and blend it out for a soft blend. I don't really want anything too rough or hard or sharp when it comes to this makeup, because I want that soft cuteness that deers tend to have. I will say the only sharp thing I would probably do when it comes to this makeup is just an eyeliner, but that's just to try to make our eyes a bit bigger, a bit more deer-like. Everything else soft and blended as much as possible. Now I am making sure to go kind of up into the crease of my lid to make sure it's blended softly there and smooth it all out. When in doubt, blend it out and it will work out just fine. And if you want to use any other colors, you absolutely can. I do know this part is a little bit misplaced, but guys, make sure you do your brows. Just get your brows out the way if you can, and it's gonna work out fine. So I'm just touching this up before I go back into my eyes, because if I don't do it now, I'm definitely gonna forget. I'm also taking that same bronzer that we used on our forehead and our cheeks, and before I go back in with my eye makeup and making it look nice, I'm taking a bronzer with a smaller but fluffy brush, and I am highlighting from the inner brow bone all the way down my nose to kind of give that deer-like nose. And I'm also going to take this and kind of go along the brow bone as well. You are going to use a lot of bronzer just to kind of give that brown effect that deers have. So just be careful with this. Make sure you get under your nose a little bit, but you don't have to worry about under the nose too much, because we're going to come back to that later. Right now we want our soft brown shadows, so just try to make it work from the brow bone all the way to the tip of your nose. This part is actually very important. Without this, it does not come out deer-like at all. And I wanted to have a bit more fun with this and make my eyes look a bit open. So I decided to do like a half cut crease on my eyes. I think it'll make my eyes look brighter and more open, more doe-like, or even just draw attention to my eyes, since everything in this makeup is roughly going to be the same colors. There's nothing to really distract or put the focus on, so I'm using this cut crease using my concealer just so that way attention goes to my eyes. Me personally, I tend to make sure I use a small brush, because I don't really want to go over this again, and once you mess up with the concealer for the cut crease, it can get messy, so just take your time. I was thinking about using a basic shimmer eyeshadow, but like I said, I wanted to draw attention to my eyes. I wanted my eyes to look really bright, so I'm using a highlighter because it can be interchangeable, and I'm using it in a very similar color to the concealer so that way it stays bright. And right at that end in the middle of my eyelid, I'm making sure to blend it out. We want everything blended. I'm also adding a little bit of light eyeshadow to the brow bone for extra definition, because why not? Now I am taking a brown eyeliner and I'm lining the upper inner corner of my eye and the outer corner of my upper waterline. So essentially just the entirety of your upper waterline if you can. For me, sometimes it's a hit, sometimes it's a miss as to whether I could do the whole upper waterline, because I always feel like I'm going to poke my eye out and I'm not trying to do that. Now for the lower waterline, I'm only doing the bottom inner corner because we're gonna do the outer corner in a different color. And that color is peach. I recommend peach over white because it makes your eyes look more open, but it isn't as harsh as the white eyeliner. So I'm doing the peach from the middle of my bottom waterline all the way to the outer one, so my eyes look big. And now we can go in with the brown eyeliner. I'm just doing a nice little wing to elongate my eyes, make my eyes look big. If you want, it is optional to even put like the liquid eyeliner on the inner corner for that sharp effect. But me, I'm gonna keep things soft, except for that wing, because I want a soft doe-like, deer-like look. So once you have the right size for your wing, feel free to go ahead to the other side and do the same thing. I like to follow how my bottom half of my eye, the bottom waterline, how it is shaped, and kind of go towards the tip of my eyebrow. That for me tends to give me the best shape in terms of a wing. And then just to seal it all in, that same brown that I used for the lid, I'm going to use on the outer corner under my under eye so that way it's nice there. And then seal the deal with a bit of mascara to make sure our eyes look wide, beautiful, and open. I am making sure to not simply just get the upper lash line all the way to the corners, but even a little bit on the bottom lashes. I want my eyes to look as open as possible. And have you guys ever seen deer's lashes? They're beautiful. Like, it's all curved and lengthy and long. Like, it's amazing. But yeah, I am making sure that my lashes are doing just that. Are you ready for my favorite part of this makeup? Adding in spots. Now, I had two white gel pencils, a shiny white and a matte white. Honestly, the matte white works so much better. If you do want it to be shiny, I say cover that matte circle with an eyeshadow and then you can get that shine, but stick with a matte white so that way these white spots can pop. And I was really enjoying adding these spots to my face. I went along my cheekbone where I would put the highlighter. I went up into my forehead because I wanted that nice shape. I matched it my best on the other side, but if it does not match, it's okay because no animal has symmetrical spots, so you are all good. And then outside of that, I'm also going to add it along the bridge of my nose. Now, I did a few different types of spots. I had some large, big spots. I had small, tiny spots, and then I even had ones that were literally just a dot from my gel pencil, and I really loved adding in those little dots because it helped fill it out more without it being too crowded. And if it does, you know, mess up, it's okay because the little gel pencil, you could wipe it away much easier than a liner, and you could fix that up real nice. But definitely have fun with the spots. They are your own. You are the full creator of your spot universe, and just really have fun with it. I was having so much fun because when I tell you, when I first started this makeup and doing the bronzer along my forehead or even on my cheekbones, I kept thinking, am I putting enough bronzer? Is this working? I look super tan and hot, and like I got a really bad sunburn, and I was almost about to give up on this makeup, but I told myself, look, I already used this much product, I might as well finish it. So seeing these spots on my face and seeing how the bronzer that I used actually popped and actually looked more dough-like, I was so happy. Now, when it comes to the nose, I told you guys I'd come back to it. I'm actually not using the bronzer. You remember that brown, darker brown that we use for the lids? That's what I'm using for the nose. And then I'm taking a big fluffy brush to kind of blend it out, make it look cute. I think the nose should be darker because deers have little dark noses and it's nice. And then I also did the line going down to the lip with a little bit of shadow on the top lip to work it out. And just because I was lost in the sauce, I just added a little bit of highlight along the nose just to make it pop a bit more. We are finally at the last step of our makeup routine, and I'm actually going to use a berry two-tone lip combo. But honestly, if you want, brown actually works really good. I just didn't have the right brown lip combo, and I know y'all know which one. But yeah, so I used berry, and I actually rounded out the Cupid's bow to give more of a deer-like look and topped it off with some gloss because why not? And last but not least, spray your face.
Alright guys, so this is the final makeup. It is cute, it is fun. Honestly, it looks so simple and effortless. And when I look in the mirror, I just feel like I'm having a good time. I'm really enjoying myself, and like I feel like every single photo, I don't know if it's because of the white spots, but like the highlight is there, the bronzer is perfect. It just looks good from every photo in every angle. So I'm very grateful for that. If you guys also did a deer makeup or even followed this tutorial, I would love to see it. I would love to see the little herd coming together. But thank you so much if you watch this video in full. Thank you, and I'll see you next time. Bye.